Hey guys, it's Lionheart, you can call me Eamon, and today I'll be showing you how to play Overwatch for beginners. We're pretty much going to be starting from the very start of the game to pretty much the end. From start game, then to mid game, and then straight to end game. That's basically how I'm going to do this, but this video pretty much will be tips, and I'll have another video for actual advancement. So, also, another thing is that I am doing this video around this event, mainly around 8:20 is the actual date. And this event, the dailies actually give you a 10 crank for this event. So I actually got 10 cranks coin freely, which I got some of these yokai, these guys right here, and this guy right here. Same with these two, or three. And these two I actually got from the main crank. But I'm only going to be like really using this dude during this playthrough until we get to the point where we're going to start using S rank, the SS ranks. Just because he's an attack booster, and same with this dude, he's just a score booster, so yeah. But any yokai I get from the regular cranking card, I will be absolutely using right now. So I'd like to clarify that, and I also would recommend you guys actually using those. I am going to take it slow, however, and pretty much try to do it as much as a beginner. So this could be pretty much used for any time of playing this game. Doesn't have to be this one type of event or anything. This will pretty much be a way to play the entire game. As you can see, I've only beaten the second boss of the game on this file, because I don't want to go too far, or at least without doing certain tips and tricks and all this stuff. So yeah, it's time to get into the first recommendation. And this is going to be tribe bonus. Tribe bonus is pretty massive in this game. As you can see right here, I have a 10% brave tribe bonus. Basically what this is if you're having matching tribes, so for instance right here, the two braves, you'll get a buff. 10, then to 20, then to 30. And so on, of course. So, but maximum is actually 30. Now, there are certain yokai that can even go above that because they have a passive skill that increases that. Usually it's around 8%, so 8% more damage. But yes, this will pretty much give you 8% in your stats, which is pretty amazing. I would absolutely recommend having this at least once on your teams, especially early game. Late game, you might even be just doing full tribe teams just to maximize that damage output, because it can increase it massively, because it is a 30% boost if you do it maximum. So, now another thing is gonna pretty much be a certain amount of yokai you should be using and what you shouldn't be using. Mainly, the biggest one is healers. You pretty much will never use healers. They are completely doo-doo. Completely trash. There's no reason to use them. There are kind of some reasons, like there is a Gates of Wisdom, which is what this actually event is. This, you can technically, if you take a little amount of damage and you can get your health back pretty quickly, since this will regen slowly and every battle is permanent health. So if you can heal that back up, that's pretty good. But they did heavily nerf healing in this event specifically, or these type of Gates of Wisdom events. So you will definitely only get like 80 health points, which is not really good. So they still have a pretty much useless, point of using them. The only reasons would be like, this girl right here. Like I said, I'm also doing this because I want to use yokai that I kind of just get from the Kai and just continue the game on. So I'm going to just use her for fun pretty much. But she's also a healer, which is not really good. However, her ultimate not only heals, but also does a little bit amount of damage. So I can actually damage buff this, and she does some decent damage with a plus health. So those are some things that you might also want to use. The yokai has an added ability with their health ultimate, then maybe they're useful, but most of the time they're not. I want to be talking about a really good type of ultimate yokai to use, and it's attack buffers. Attack buffers always do the exact same attack boost. They won't have an increase like ×2 and then or like maybe an SSS rank has ×3. That is not a thing. It is always the exact same amount of damage buff, if I believe. So technically you can just have one attack buff and you should be good. However, it does stack, so you can pretty much have 4 attack boosting yokai and then 1 really big heavy hitter that could do insane damage, hitting up to hundreds of millions if you can. Of course, another thing is that what's the point of having multiple attack buffers? Because, for instance, I have this dude, and he has a special, unique ability with this ultimate. Not only he gives me an attack buff, but he makes certain Puni randomly become really large. So basically, I get an extra ultimate. It is very amazing and debatably one of the best, like, attack buffers you can get, besides, like, Z ranks. So, this is a pretty great start for that, but he is like, why would I need any other attack buffer if he's already put to the best? And it would be for stats, that's one of them, and the other one is for tribes. Like I just said, tribes boost can come to play, so if I had a really good attack or brave tribe boost, I should probably equip that since I already have these two for my braves, and I can even get 15 or actually 20% more damage just for having that different attack buff, and I don't really want to feel the difference in a way. So that's one of the bigger reasons. And of course, stats are pretty massive, because since it's always the same amount of buff, the only way to get a better buff from that yokai would be, of course, its permanent stats in the yokai. So that's why, even though this guy's amazing and his ultimate's amazing, and pretty much we'll be using him until we get like god tier ZZ ranks, the difference for using those ZZ ranks is that they might have the exact same ability, but they might have 500 more damage, which would be double the damage boost, not only to that attack boost. So it's a little complicated, but basically if you have the same attack booster that does the same thing, just look at the bigger number. Now, I also want to say, I wouldn't recommend copying my team. Like I said, I'm just using this team just because I feel like a lot of events and early game events and just overall doing the main story, you can, for a certain point, just use yokai you like, especially if they're SS ranks, because SS ranks wasn't really intended to be used until like pretty much middle of the way of the main story. So you can get away with using any like SS ranks for funsies or half SS ranks and random S ranks you want to use for. So just like to preface that, because the main reason why I'm also allowing myself to use this dude from that 10 event crank coin is because he's actually one of the worst ultimate users, so he doesn't really have a good buff. I just simply really like Ezreal Dragon, so just want to clarify that real quickly. Okay, now time to talk about another ultimate, which is amazing, and you will be using this pretty much for the entire game, and you get it so early, and it's called score boosters. Score boosters are absolutely amazing. They will pretty much double your score, or even go far beyond that. Score boost, I actually don't know the exact amount of buff it gives, but it's pretty good. And pretty much what score does in this game, it's not just a cool high score in this game, it actually determines how much XP you get and how much Y money you get, which, well, end game and mid game, you really only want to worry about Y points, so it's kind of useless about the Y money, but right now it's really nice. And Y money, even though it does have like no use, pretty much it's useless in mid to end game, especially end game, it still kind of has a usage where you can buy XP orb pretty much. So it pretty much helps all the way, but mainly that XP boost is really nice, especially early game. And I feel like devs kind of intended you to use them, because one of the biggest things that people kind of had trouble with doing main story is that you were kind of going under-leveled, or just not on level fast enough. And these score boosters will even put you on top of the level and go farther beyond. So if that's one of the reasons why you're having trouble, it's probably score boosters. Now, they're the exact same way with attack boosters, except they do not stack, I don't believe. So you just want one score booster. So you can do 3 attack boosters, 1 score booster, and your heavy hitter, and that would be pretty much the maximum way to get the best amount of damage and score. So, of course, it follows the same rules as the attack booster, where better stats you want to go for, and depending on the tribe. Like, I have this dude, which is the Brave tribe, and he's pretty great, and that's pretty much it. He's just a great yokai that has good stats at my certain level with an S rank. However, if you don't have him, which you probably won't, that's perfectly fine. I just have him for better sakes, you know, make my team a little bit better. This guy you will get guaranteed from the first level of the second world, which pretty much right after you defeat Slime Amanda, right here. You'll open a door and he'll be right here. And he's a guaranteed befriend for the first time, because he gives you the ability for missions. So he's guaranteed to be given to you, and he is a score booster. He is, of course, a C rank, so he's not that great, for his stats wise. However, it's a score booster, and like I said, you probably won't not have a score booster until the very end of the game. Even on my main account, I kind of just stopped giving away score boosters because I'm already max level. I have an infinite amount of XP orb, so I don't have a usage for that, and I don't need Y money. So basically, you'll be using them for the entire game, most of it. After that, I guess it's time to talk about certain ultimates. For overall heavy hitters and types of yokai you want to go for ultimates, depending on what they do, it kind of doesn't fully matter, but like I said, depending on what they do, they might be really good. Like, they might pop every single Puni on the screen. Then that would be really great, because that would give you a lot more damage overall, but also might increase the other yokai you're trying to get ultimates for during that ultimate, so. Or maybe tracers. There's a lot of type of ultimate users. Pretty much, there's not much you want to, like, be determined about. There's not going to be a certain yokai that's going to be like, this exact ultimate is the ultimate type you want to go for. Pretty much a ultimate that does damage is a ultimate that does damage. I actually have seen a lot of beginners feel like they need to get this type of ultimate, like a tracer or something along those lines, but it doesn't really matter. If they just hit hard, they hit hard. One of the best examples is this dude, Kabukin. He's one of my favorite yokais, but that's not the point. His ultimate does a cool twirl, pretty much with his animation, and it pops every single Puni on the map or screen, which is very nice, and it does a lot of damage. This is pretty much the guy who I should be using, but like I said, for beginner purposes, I'm going to try to myself a tiny bit weaker in a way, so yeah, I'm not using him, but he is a amazing pick, and unless I get a better stat yokai or something that's stronger, I shouldn't be really not using him. It doesn't really matter if they do pop every single Puni on the screen. It just matters if it does good enough damage or not. One of the best examples early game, which I will absolutely recommend, and I should probably talk about it right after this, is Shogunyan. He's a legendary yokai you can get from the Medallion, and he's extremely easy to get. You can guarantee get him by the 4th map, which is amazing because his damage output for S ranks is through the roof, I would say. Because you can pretty much use him for the whole yokai world, pretty much. Up to that point, he might be falling off, in a way, just because they're getting close to SS ranks, so they might be wanting you to use a little bit more stronger yokai, but you can pretty much use them until you get those SSS ranks and Zeta ranks. So, also, Zeta ranks are Z ranks. I just want to also clarify that for anyone who might be confused. I'm just going to call them Zeta ranks because I've gotten used to calling them Zeta ranks. And I'll probably say triple Zeta ranks and stuff. I also might sometimes just say Z ranks, so I just want to really quickly clarify that because I don't want people to get confused for that. So, now I did say I'll talk about the medallions, but I really should tell you about these event quick guys. Now, how enticing they might be are, when you're starting off the game, and for that matter, until you enter even mid-game, you will not be able to really get those crazy ZZZ ranks unless you get lucky from the Kai. And even if you do, since you don't have a full team that's like ZZ ranks or double Zeta ranks, you pretty much won't be able to complete it still. So, I highly don't recommend actually pulling for those certain amount of events. There is one type of event I highly recommend, and it's called Budokais. Basically, they are events. The best way to know them, I don't really want to give you guys these names of this type of events because I'm going to be kind of confusing, like Shiganshi and all this stuff, so I'm not really going to say the names exactly. The best way to know is that when you complete any level, it will give you Y points, and of course the farther you go out, the more Y points you get. It's not behind the gates of Wisme. So right now, this example is an event that's going on right now. I can only get Y points by doing the gates of Wisme, which is after you complete a stage, there's a chance that the door will appear and you have to fight a certain amount of yokai. Now, that doesn't sound bad because you're just defeating yokai, and it can get hard at some point, but technically it would be doable. The way they avoid this, of course, is that there is like a permanent health bar just for those gates of Wisme, or the doors, that it goes down every time you take damage. That's kind of permanent and stays, and it takes sometimes hours, like 5 to 6 hours, to regen that health to max. So basically, you can only find Y points sometimes once or twice when you get to the end game of these events, and wait 6 hours. So, you don't really want to spend all your Y points and maybe get something like the event yokai, like this dude right here, that's an SSS rank, and still not really have the good enough stats, and now you have to wait 6 hours to grind Y points, just the equal amount the Y points you spend to get this dude. It is not worth it. So, however, that event I was just talking about, saying that any stage will give you Y points, no matter if it was, well, it would be from the course of the event. Only the event will give you the Y points, not just any stage from the game. But technically, if you would just defeat a stage just regularly, it would just say Y point and give you it. That's the best way I would describe it. It's really nice because you have a really easy and simple way to grind Y points. The difficulty is rather low and will always stay the same, unlike these events like the Slingshot event or this Gate to Win event, where every time you defeat it, it gets significantly harder. And also, you don't have to wait. You can spend 20 hours, hundreds of hours, not even stopping, to just grind Y points on that one type of event, and you now have all this Y points. So now, I know it kind of sounds confusing because I'm just saying, don't use your Y points until you get an event that says that you get Y points when you defeat a stage. I will probably make a video the instant one comes up and tell you about it and recommend to grind Y points. The best way to put it is, I'll kind of just do a little mini detour. You pretty much, just like this, you just defeat stage 1, and right now if you defeat stage 1, you'll get 0 Y points. It'll just continue and make you go to this one. But if it is that type of event, it will give you Y points at the end of it, and also, you'll know because it will, before you can even do a stage, it will ask for you for a game mode of either stealing people's treasure or not to. That's the best way to know, because it will have pretty much a treasure value. After you defeat a stage, you get a piece of treasure. That's the event you want to look for. It will give you the scene where it will show pickpocket stealing a piece of treasure. That's like the icon. That's the best way to look for. Like I said, I know it's a pretty bad way to describe it, but I feel like instead of just giving a straight up name to it, like giving you the real name of it, I feel like it's going to be more confusing, because it's just going to be all these random wacko event names that you probably will be confused for us, though. But if you want me to tell you what the event is exactly called in the comments, I will gladly tell you so. But yes, I would recommend saving your Y points for that. Now, I know you might be asking, why should you save your Y points for that? Because technically a Z rank or a Z rank is a Z rank. And that's completely correct. Z ranks are Z ranks. They'll be top tier for a reason, and they will always pretty much be that top tier. They will, of course, not like lower anything. It will just be a really good yokai to pull for. However, an event yokai for their event specifically. So if you pull here, let's just go into this and I'll just show real quickly. If I pull this triple Z rank, this dude right here, from this event, for this event only, will have double the stats or maybe double the damage or double defense. It depends in exactly, but they pretty much will have a massive buff into the stats for this event only. So, or even for a impossible boss, or just the bosses in general for that event. So they have a massive impact for that event. So instead of getting a triple Z rank from here, and then using it for another event, even though it's still highly effective and really good, you can get another triple Z rank for that event that will give it a buff. So if you save your Y points and try to pull for that, it will get a big buff for that event, so you might be able to get more Y points for that one event particular. So that's pretty much the main reason. Another reason is that certain yokai for the event, pretty much it's always one. I don't remember exactly which one for this event that will give you, but there's one yokai that will give you a Y points buff every single time, and that's pretty much what the buff is. It doesn't buff the stats at all, so they'll be just a regular yokai. However, for that one and only event, they'll give you a Y points buff. So you can also roll for that and just grind Y points for that event that's infinitely grindable, and just make like double the amount you can usually, which can lead up to like 10,000. So that's why I want to recommend that. Okay, now it's time to talk about the Medallion. Now, the Medallion is rather useless. It's pretty much like a Pokédex for anyone who knows Pokemon pretty much, it pretty much just tells you the yokai you've already gotten. However, if you go here, there are these random gates you can open. And now it will ask for a specific yokai. Like for instance, this is asking for Cruncher. So if I get Cruncher, it will unlock this. It would get it 1/6 way done for unlocking a special legend yokai. Which end game and mid game, they are completely useless because they're just S ranks and some of them are SS ranks. However, for this early game, it is highly effective and very good. Like I said, I'm pretty much going to be taking this from the main story to beating the main story and ending the event. That's pretty much how the devs I see want you to take it. Pretty much beat the main story regularly with the yokai you get from playing the game regularly, going through every single level, doing the Krinkenkai, and once you beat the main story, whatever you get, you should use those yokai you get to do event. And that's also the path we will be taking. We pretty much will not be caring about the events at all, and it's not really a priority at all for us until we beat the main story. Because not only we don't have the power for it, but there's no reason to. So, yeah, I just really want to say that, so that's the way I'm going to be taking this, from pretty much S ranks to SS ranks to SSS ranks to Zeta ranks. And from main story to events, because that is the best way and the way I completely recommend for beginners to take it. There's zero reason, and it's a really, really bad idea to just go into this game, especially early game, straight into the events, because these events are no joke. Every single event is just completely hard. So, anyways, should probably not talk about this. And as you can see, I have Baku. This is Baku the yokai, and since I befriended him, she shows up, and you can see right here, it's like fully yellow and said it's completed. You can see that I am 5 out of the 6 way. You get this guaranteed, you get your Banyan guaranteed, you get Draggy guaranteed, and you get Mirapo guaranteed. So all you have to do is get Caden, which is like the 6th stage, and he's really easy. So if you don't get him in the tutorial stage, just redo it again and until you get him. It's very good to get this fully completed, and until you get a certain stage, see the mission, or you can get it from the Krinkai. If you get it from the Krinkai, you should have you can have Shogunyan. This is the legend yokai to unlock, Shogunyan. Now, I was just talking about Shogunyan, how he is very effective and very good. He is going to be a really good user overall to be pretty much using for this main story, and I feel like they actually purposely made him this good in the main story to advance for people. So just for anyone who gets stuck, they could use Shogunyan and have a really good time and easy time. So I highly recommend doing this, especially if you want an easy time going through the game. It will be really good. And I will talk about her when I get to her. When I get to her, I'll definitely put it in this video, probably at the end, or probably in my advancement video. Where you exactly get it, because she's the mission, you have to complete a certain stage, just a very specific stage, later on in the main story, in a certain amount of time, and if you do that, you get it unlocked. So, yes, pretty much every single thing in these Legend yokai are kind of like the top of the class, at least right now. They haven't made a Legend yokai in a very long time, sadly, for these events. That would be extremely cool, for, like, doing like a certain event and you have to get all of them, and then you unlock the legend yokai from this, and it's a triple Zeta rank. That they should probably do that, but they haven't done that in a long time. So basically, this is only for early game purposes and maybe mid game. And I say maybe mid game for this one type of legend yokai that I'm trying to go for right now. Now it is a score booster. So technically, for instance, I have that guy I have. His name is Arachneval, sorry. And he's a brave S rank attacker. So pretty much this guy right here, who will unlock the legend yokai will unlock for this, is also a score boost. That'll give me the exact same amount of score boost. So I don't technically get a buff. So you might be asking, what's the reason to do that? And the reason to do that is because he is Heartful Tribe. So I would like to have a Heartful Tribe, so if I ever make a Heartful Tribe team, I could equip him instead of Arachneval and get a massive buff. So also, This guy has a lot of health, while Arachneval doesn't. Arachneval has lower health on the end, so I can also pretty much just unequip this guy, or Arachneval, and put this guy on, and I might even just overall have better stats. So I highly, highly recommend trying to get this dude, especially since you won't have Arachneval like I do, and you might just have Sergeant Bully, which is that score boost I was just talking about. So this will be highly recommended. As you can see, I'm already halfway done. This is a fusion with the pink dog you get, which is called Smoopy, and Nurse Tungus, or sorry, Tungus, which is from this stage over here, from this mapping. So that's how I got her. If you go to the forest, go right here, you can see right here, right above Sergeant Bully, is this girl. If you get her and befriend her, and you get all the way up to, if I believe, right here, Meiji-mon, this doggo, you unlock fusion, and you can fuse the pink doggo Smoopy and her together to get that yokai. So I just want to quickly say that. So that's how you unlock her in the medallion. But yes, pretty much you can get half of that medallion for that really amazing score booster this early in the game. Already done before the second world's done. And now, these feel a little bit hard. He's a hidden stage actually, like in the next main story or the next area, so you can actually get him too really early. These two, however, this is from the Krakenkai. And now, if you've already pulled this person from the Krakenkai, I highly recommend trying to get this dude. I recommend speedrunning the game even to try to just unlock him, and after you unlock him, you have a really good score booster. So, because this guy, you can get him pretty much from your first ever Krakenkai. He's an S rank. He's only a Krakenkai exclusive, so he's the hardest one to get, basically. All these other ones you can get from the main story. So, yes, I did just really want to talk about this, because this is, like I said, highly recommended, and I also even recommend going for the other medallions if you want other themes. So this, if I believe, is actually a befriender. There is a ultimate type that you can pretty much use it, and all it will do is make a higher chance to befriend yokai. If whatever you do, and this guy is really good, so for that, yeah, you can go for him for that. This dude is a spirit bobble user. He isn't really that good at all, really, but if you want some extra damage, I absolutely recommend him, and of course Shogunyan. These two are probably the two recommending for damage. However, he is much harder to get because some of them are higher ranks, like A ranks. A lot of these are A ranks and C ranks, and one of them is even an S rank. So these are much harder to get and stronger to defeat. So this might be a little bit late into the main story, but yes, you can get those. Just really do want to say this so you can get this, because this is very nice. And I haven't really talked about all these other ones because there's so much more. However, some of these are based after you beat the first story. Basically, the main story goes by Yokai Watch 1, Yokai Watch 2, 3, and so on. So, when we get to, like, this one you can only get, well, not that dude, but you can only get this yokai from Yokai Watch 2's area. So basically, you have to wait until you beat the first game maps until you get to that point. So, yeah, pretty much the first, like, 4 you can only get. But they're a very powerful yokai that you should absolutely get early game. So, now, another way, which I should probably just say now, is you could just pay to win. This game is definitely pay to win in a way. However, it's a lot of money to pay to win. I will technically also pay to win, but I'm gonna try not to use those types of yokai until we get to the event stages. Pretty much I'll be only using them for the event yokai stages, or they're just event stages in general, because those are actually want you to use those. They want you to have these SSS ranks and Zeta ranks just before you even have the ability to play them. That's pretty much what the recommendations are. That's what the recommendations basically are for. So, it will be nice. You could do this, actually when you beat Slime Amanda, these two open up, you get an SS rank, and it shows you right here, you can choose actually between one of these 4 yokai. Shogunyan probably the best, so if you do buy that, go ahead. These are also extremely cheap. this is like $2 to get a guaranteed SSS rank or higher, even Zeta rank, a pretty good chance, and actually one of the highest chances to get a Zeta rank in the game. So $2 for a extremely powerful yokai. Absolutely recommend this. Of course, you don't have to at all. I will probably do this one, not this one, just because I have all these guys on my other files, so I just feel like it would be wrong using them again, kind of. So yeah, I'm gonna do this, and I'll probably use this for like whatever. But you can also pay to win right down here, and you can see 18,000 points. It will cost a lot of money, however. It is not really a low amount of money for a high amount of Y points. And as you can see, 18,000 for 1,500, get around like 5 cranks, just for like 80 bucks. It is not very recommended to. If you pay to win in this game, it is very much, you have to go all the way. There really is no way. Like 5 cranks, which is 50 overall cranks, is very good, and you can definitely get a Zeta rank by that. And I think you might technically, with odds, be guaranteed with a yokai at that point. However, there has been times where people have done hundreds of cranks and haven't gotten one of the event yokai. So I do just really want to give you that warning before you even think about just going all the way with pay to win. But yeah. Also, another thing I didn't say about the events, if you do and you really can't hold yourself and you want the copium of cranking for that event just because you think someone's so cool, and I completely understand. I do have my copium yokai, which would be the extreme yokai. Those are my favorite. I will always pull for that, but you know, they don't really come. But anyways, on certain days, mainly for the first day and for the last couple days, there will be big buffs for the percentage. So right now, this is like day 3, day 4 of this event, and this is 1.4% for this Zeta rank, and for the double Zeta rank, 1.2, compared to the usual 0.1% chance, which is really hard to get. And increasing that to 1% is massive, since it's higher chances to get this than an SS rank, pretty much. So I will highly recommend not to spend Y points at all if this is not going on. And I highly recommend when it's all the event yokai. They do that kind of often. Like I said, usually when the event's about to end for like the last 5 days, or on the very first day, they also do that, where every single yokai has a buff, and this goes up to like 1.4%, 1.2 for these two, 1.4, and this will be 2 or 3%. You have a very, very, very good chance to get these event yokai at that point, but right now it looks very unlikely. So that's, if anything, if you take anything from these Y points tips I'm kind of giving you, absolutely do that. There's no reason not to. And if you really do just pull when there's not a booster for that type of event yokai, it's kind of stupid to do so, because that booster is very nice, and it will definitely hurt you in a way, because you might just not get nothing, and that copium you quickly lose, because you might have actually just lost a chance to get an SS rank or a Zeta rank. So yeah, definitely do that. Also, the biggest warning about this game, it will start from the very first, when instant you download the game. This is a game-breaking warning, and it's that you will lose something massive when you do this, and it's your personal life. This game is stupidly grindy. They pretty much want you to play this game and only this game. It will take hours and hours and hours to do certain events, or a specific one thing in the event, and it could take days, and pretty much every single day, and maybe an hour or two worth of grinding every single day, to just get a subpar amount of Y points for the next event. So this game will pretty much push your grinding experience to the maximum, and it hasn't stopped, and it won't stop. It will be an immense amount of grinding. at the start, and it's kind of slow down, kind of like a roller coaster. When you reach middle of the game, it's kind of just like chill. Definitely, you can just be really chill, do events, get more points. If you get a letter rank from that event, go all out. If you don't, just play it casually. But when you get to end game, you're pretty much trying to get every single event done, and trying to, you know, pretty much get ready for the next event also in that way. So you're pretty much trying to maximize your Y points. So you'll be grinding almost every day. So yeah, very highly recommend before you get into this game to do that. To just rethink your choices in this game. Of course, I would also recommend only play on one file. There's one thing you should be doing though. If you do 2 files, is that you should make 2 files and get to the point of the game where you're done with the tutorial in a way, and you can do daily logins. Because daily logins never hurt those other files. It's a quick, like, 3 minutes, 2 minutes of your life every day to log in for those other 2 accounts to get them buffed. So if you ever just want extra copium for just to do fun polls, just for, you know, fun on your other accounts, you can do that. So, and plus, you can also you can add yourself. Next thing I want to talk about is friends. Friends are very good in this game. Friends and events specifically are pretty massive. They can help you and give you a pretty massive buff in those events for you, and you can do the other way around too. You also can help your friends, and they will also give you your own type of points, which will give you buffs in your own event. So pretty much, if you help each other with your friend, you get buffs and they get buffs, and other way around if you help them and they help you. So it's pretty massive, and also you can give yourself souls every day. So you can pretty much add yourself for your other 2 accounts and then log in for your other 2 accounts and give you 2 souls every 6 hours. And boom, you pretty much have an infinite amount of souls just because you added yourself. So, but I would also recommend just having different people, so the actual event yokai or event stages you can be helped with. So, and now I know you might not have a lot of friends playing this, or maybe any at all, because this game is Japanese exclusive, and if you got it, you're probably like me and have a little cheeky way to get this game. And for that one reason, it's gonna be hard to get someone or a friend, because there's no really way to be like, hey, can you add me? So I will pretty much be saying, look at people's certain videos, specifically new videos. Any new yokai or Puni video will pretty much have a open comments section that you could just put your friend code in, and with 0 context, just put it in, and people will most likely add you. On my main account, I just did that, and I had like 30 friends instantly, and they were helping me, I was helping them, I was doing daily logins, they were doing daily logins for me. So you could do that, and if you want to, absolutely do in my comment section. You can see probably on the side of my screen where I'll have my friend code up. So you can add that, and I will add you back, and I'll also help you. And if you help me, that would be much appreciated for these events, so I can get these videos out much faster, because events will be really long to get. And if you want to find out where you get your friend code, it's right here. You go to your profile, and this right here is your friend code. You put this in, and the person you ever sent or put your friend code in will get the friend request. So also, any person you want to put in the comment, I might also add you as a friend, just because this account's pretty fresh, so I don't have friends on this account either, so I also kind of need them. So I will also help you guys if you need it. But yes, please do so if you need to. Now, after all that complicated stuff with the people and friend codes and tribe bonuses, I know it's a lot to take in. And if you need to rewatch the videos, or even if you're confused about something, please tell me in the comments, and I'll try as quick as possible to message you and try to tell you. So, also, you could probably look up even videos about specifically one thing I've talked about this, like tribe bonuses and yada yada. So, but there's one thing I absolutely recommend trying to do and have it in your mind, or just to even take from this video, and it's your soul secret books. There are these books in the games that you can use, and it will pretty much increase your maximum level of your ultimate, which will overall give your ultimate a lot more damage, a lot more buffs. Whatever it does, it will increase it by double, pretty much, or twofold. It's pretty OP. If you get to level 7, which is the maximum level, your yokai will be hitting for stupid amounts of damage. And it can even change events, and you can probably even do events much sooner if you have this maxed out yokai. However, with this massive buff, there is of course a double side for this. Not in a way of when you use it, it's like they are weaker or something. It's the fact of it's really hard to get these bucks nowadays. And now I say nowadays, it's because they had an update that changed a way to get soul secrets. Before, you can max out your regular Krenkenkai, or even event Krenkenkai for that matter. And if you max any event yokai, or any yokai from your Krenkai, and what that means is if you get their yokai or their level, ultimate level to max, pretty much what will happen is they'll give you soul secret books, so you can get these really powerful books to equip to or put on your yokai, and it would be that simple. However, they made an update. Well, that's no longer a thing. They will now give you XP orbs instead of soul secrets. So now soul secrets have become much more scarce, and even for endgame players, the supply could be running out. So this won't be really useful for endgame players because they know that they could just use the Y point shop. But I do also really want to talk about just save them. Save them for a Zeta rank. If you get a Zeta rank, I do kind of actually recommend just instantly getting it to like level 3 or 4 for the ultimate level, because that's a perfect level of ultimate that you pretty much want. Unless it's a triple Zeta rank, there's no reason to get it higher than 4, I would say. If it's a triple Zeta rank, I absolutely recommend just going maxed out, try to get it close to level 7, and go for it, because you'll probably be using that dude maybe for all the way up to end game, because these triple Zeta ranks are so powerful that even if they don't have the event buff, they'll give you that perfect stats you need. So they highly recommended to use them for that, not for any random S rank or SS ranks. Those are it's really not recommended to do that. It is a big waste. So now you might be asking, how do you get these soul secrets? If they are so hard to get and so scarce to get, how do you get them in the first place? And, well, you can still get them from the Krenkenkai. There is just, instead of after maxing out a yokai, there is just a chance now. And it's always have been a thing, of course, but it's pretty low chance. It's a 0.1% for this G skill, which is like your second ultimate, and just for a soul secret, it's 3%. Which technically, you do have the highest percentage out of the entire Krenkenkai to get a soul secrets. However, since it's one item compared to the 2% and like 30 B ranks, it drops that percentage to much lower. So even though it's a good percent, it's still extremely low because it's one item. It basically pulling for like a 1 in 300 in that way. So it's a hard way to get, but you could get these from both of the Krenkenkais. That is still definitely a way. So that's one way you could do, and it is technically an infinite farm, because you could just keep spending and keep getting these soul secrets. So, but it's the least efficient way. Now, the most efficient way, especially early game, because it's pretty easy to get and you get them pretty freely. There is in this game one-time given item stages. So if you complete a stage, you'll be given an item for completing it the first time. And in the main story, after you complete the first boss, I think you might have to complete it in a certain amount of time, that boss. But if you do, you unlock these sewers, or a type of sewers. Some of them might be like a Sundale, I think it's like Springdale Tower. That also will give you soul secrets. But if you complete all the stages and get to the final stage in here, which is the boss, for the first time beating this, you will get a soul secrets. So you could pretty much beat like the first 8 maps and then do all 8 sewers, and that's free 8 soul secrets, which will get your yokai pretty much level 4 or 5. So that's pretty much going to be the easiest way and really the best way to get soul secret in the entire game. However, there's of course a downside to this. As I said before, it is a one-time use. So after you defeat the stage, you can't do it again to get a soul secret. It's only once. So after you have exhausted all your usage from these sewers or whatever it would be called at the certain point of the game, because they are called different later on, like there might be shop markets, the different yokai worlds, pretty much whatever it is. After you do them all, you pretty much don't have this way to get soul secrets anymore. However, you do get a massive amount by doing this. So there is also another way. Usually when you get to the very, like, if you get to like Yokai Watch 2 point of the map, so when you get to that point, halfway they start actually giving you soul secrets, and even the main bosses will give you soul secrets sometimes. So when you get farther into the game, they do give you more. But like I said, they still one-time usage, so, or one-time completion given items, so they don't really have a good way to farm them at all. And after that, there pretty much isn't the other way to get them. There's only one more way, which is the events. These events have a Y point shop. You could spend Y points to get certain items, and you can already see if you complete, for instance, for this event, if you complete level 2 of this gate door, you get a small soul secret, which is pretty terrible. It will take like 10 of these to get level 1 to 2, which a regular soul secret will get that in one book, so those are not recommended. But the higher you get, of course, it costs very, very expensive, which is the massive downside to this, that you have to spend a lot of your Y points, especially early game, to get these. However, you can technically get these right here, level 17, and then when you complete level 20, you get this really powerful one. And again, and this one right here will actually just straight up maximum, just get your yokai to the maximum level, or increase that level. So, trying to get to 6 or 7, you can use this book and get straight to 7. So, yes, but look at this, it's 3,000. So just for these two books right here, it is 6,400 Y points, which I don't even have. So, and I have to get really far into it, level 30, which my main account will even have trouble doing, because if I don't have any event yokai, even with this like end games account, it's still hard to beat those yokai because they have really hard skills and battles to do, so. And I know it's like, well, why are you telling me this when it's pretty much really for end game purposes, and, well, you pretty much have to spend a lot of your money. It's not really too worth it, it sounds like. However, it really is the only way to get soul secrets. And like I said, of course, these event stages do actually give you soul secrets, so that's another thing I highly recommend. If you can complete the events entirely, I do highly recommend trying to, because they will give you a lot of soul secrets and first time items that are high tier on the end. Like for instance, I think I completed this one and got a maximum tier item for befriending, so I can get some pretty good yokai already. Or at least have a really good chance to get those yokai, which I will not be able to get for a very long time. I could show it off. I got this item specifically. Right here. This is the best item to get a certain type of yokais that like this type of item, so that's another good thing you get from these event missions. But yeah, pretty much that's it. There's not really much other ways. So, of course, you can also do this sometimes as like an extra impossible stage, so you get lots of Y points. And right here, these are also really hard, but you could technically, you can see that I just did the first stage. I already can't do level 2. So, with this, that's already how hard this shows, how pretty much this is like an endgame thing, where I can't even complete level 2 to even get 200 Y points, or even get to that point of the soul secrets, so. But yes. Now after talking about all that soul secrets, sadly, that you won't be able to get a lot, and you should be using them sparingly, I do also want to say that if you have like a cool yokai, like that you really love, like for instance, I just said prior, the Extreme Goku yokai is all-time my favorite yokai, and it's my number 1 and number 2 favorite yokai, which would be Extreme Snidle, or Goku Snidle, and Goku Renax, which is these two guys right here. Oh, it's gonna show me this, but yes, these guys are like my favorite, so if I ever get them, I probably will max them out, just because I like them. but that would be a really stupid idea to do, and I do know that, so I probably will only get them to level 4 or 5. But if you really can't do this and you really want to level up this ultimate, go ahead. Like I said, there will be repercussions pretty much, because it will be much harder to get. So even though it might be fine right now, it will be hard to get later on. So yes, I do just really want to, tell you guys about this, because it's, I feel like people do extremely common, because they're like, oh, I finally got Shogunyan, which is a really good yokai, and this guy's telling me that it's really good, which is very true. So I'm gonna use all my soul secret books on him, and now you don't have any, and now you can't get like your Z rank or your SSS rank on a higher level. So then it's a massive problem. Of course, one exception is getting yokai that you'll be using probably for a decent amount of time or a long time, a certain level to level 2, because level 2 will only cost 1 book. Level 2 will cost 1 book, and getting to level 2 to level 3, it will cost 2 books. So if you want to get the, like, for instance, Shogunyan, which I probably will be doing, is getting Shogunyan to level 2. Just because it's 1 soul secret book, which is not bad, and I can actually kind of get that. That's 1 sewers, and for event stages, if I can actually complete it and get to like level 3, for instance, I just get that book back super easily. So if you want to use 1 book, go ahead. That's pretty much, I would say, to do, and it's the most safe thing to do. Now, also to show you that I'm doing a series right now, so when I complete this, I'll get that first time soul secret bonus, but also, I do want to show another thing, and it's actually a playstyle, and it's the most best playstyle. Now, what I have done is I have actually gotten every single yokai I have on my team the ultimate, because now I'm in fever mode, and the best thing to do, especially when you have the score booster, is to put all your damage into this one fever mode, and then use your score boost at the last second, so you can get that double score. Because if you do that, then however much damage you did, like if you did 8,000 damage, that will actually be boosted to score, not each single hit you did. So fever time is very recommended for that. So what I did is I have all these guys max ultimated, or have this ultimate use, and what I'm going to do, and I'm going to show it off super quickly, right before this, is I'm going to use my attack booster to give my damaging yokai a damage boost, and I'm going to use all these guys. And then right before the fever time ends, I'm going to use my score booster. This is absolutely the way you should be playing, and you need to get used to this, because this is actually the only way to play endgame. If you don't do this, you will not win the events. So just want to show that off, and I will just show a demonstration of it super quickly. Now, of course, some yokai have the different usage. Now, all my yokai actually don't hit the board at all, which is kind of bad and also good. Because now I could get big yokai, and then also get an extra soul ultimate added to it. I can't do that, sadly, so now this is the maximum damage I can get. So, that's why these guys are kind of bad, because I can't really do that. But you saw that I just got 5,000 damage, and now 203,000 score. Or 213 actually afterwards, which is very nice, because I just got 152 Y money. I do this again, I have 300 Y money. Of course, I mean, that's basic math, but you can get what I'm saying by that will increase your money and your score, and the amount of damage you can actually do to the whole team, not just one enemy, to a massive point. So, also, as you can see, first time Y bonus, or first time soul secrets, so now I have that extra soul secrets. This, of course, as you can see, get extra Y money, XP, sorry. But yeah, just really wanted to quickly show that off, because I remember the first time I even played Wibble Wobble and Puni, well, not even Puni, but Wibble Wobble. I was just spam yokai and use ultimates whenever, which is really not good. So, and you actually will even feel the difficulty in that when my first time playing, even with Shogunyan and all these powerful S-rank yokai I had at the time, I still couldn't even beat like Yokai World, because that strat does not work. So that's pretty much what you need to get used to and learn and try to do and even master it and try to perfect it later on in the game to a certain point where, like, if I get this guy's soul at higher level, I get more of my guys bigger, so I can get like this guy really big multiple times, and I could keep infinitely using his soul over and over in the Puni and keep getting more and more damage. So there's ways to perfect it, of course. So I just really wanted to quickly show that. So now, as I said, I am trying to play this game by how it was kind of intended, by pretty much using only this Krenkenkai until you get to like the main story. And once you beat the main story, you should be doing the event crank. So that's how the way I'm going to be doing it. I'm going to be trying to do that. And I want to talk about this then, because if I want to play like this, I also kind of recommend you guys playing like this, because it's the best way, pretty much. So basically, you do just want to keep kind of pulling until you get good yokai. I will kind of show you what are good yokai and what are bad yokai, because they're of course bad. And I actually, the yokai I have on my team are actually kind of perfect. Not my attack boost and score booster, but the three guys. So this guy's pretty bad, this guy's pretty bad. But they're of course good yokai. Crunch is pretty good for an S rank. Snurdle's really good. He's actually pretty much Shogunyan. He literally is Shogunyan, basically. I can't remember if he has better stats or worse, but if he's better stats, then he's just better Shogunyan. And if it's worse stats, then he's slightly worse Shogunyan. So he's highly recommended to have your team. I actually haven't got these guys early game, so I don't know how good they are. But I've heard that this guy is kind of good for an S rank, so he might be really good to use. S rank Shogunyan's really good. These guys are pretty good. They have pretty much been shown to do damage. He's healer, he's bad. He's healer, he's bad. She's healer, he's bad. Venok's really good for early game. And this girl, she's bad. But yeah, I do just want to say, like, if you get Venoked or what's another one that I just said? I'm lost. Any of these S ranks, or Snurdle, or Cruncher, or even this guy right here. I'm sorry, I didn't even show off the Muncher. Those guys, I've kind of just told you, those are really good yokai. If you have gotten one of those, then good job. You should be trying to get that guy to level 50 kind of quickly. And if you are technically having trouble, get this ultimate to level 2. It won't fully hurt, because they will probably be used for the main story for a decent bit. So, of course, some better A ranks too, like Seo's an amazing S rank. Oh, sorry, A rank. He's an attack booster, and well, he has some pretty good strength stats, so he would be very good to use. Of course, there's some other yokai that you can overall use. Like, this guy's not a bad guy, like a bad yokai to use for a one of your hitters, for your damage users in fever time, if you don't have like a full team, like an S rank user or something like that. So, but pretty much a lot of these have their usages. I mainly just want to highlight on the S ranks, just so I don't, you know, I don't want someone to be like, hey, you told me to level up these S ranks, so you use this S rank, and it's, and I asked what your team in, and it's like Medallion and and Unikirin and Eterna, and it's like, well, you have 4 healers, bud. So I just really wanted to quickly say that. So also, I think you get XP Orbs. Yep, right here, XP Orbs. I also very much recommend, this is something that I will be grinding a lot for, and it is to maximize my yokai Krenkenkai. Like I said before, you can max this out to get Soul Secret. Well, not anymore. It is actually now XP Orbs. Now, XP Orbs is nowhere close to as good as Soul Secret. However, for event stages, you'll be pretty much every single new event, they of course add new yokai, event yokai. So you pretty much will be getting them, sometimes even guaranteed to get them, and you want those event yokai to be highest level. So those XP Orbs come to play if you want to just get these yokai super quickly high level. And even for this, like the main story too, you can just do that in general. So later on, like I said, in my advancement video, we'll pretty much be kind of going through the game, trying to tell you yokai to get like medallions unlocked, and highlight on something that I've even said in this video. I will show you good ways to grind wire money. But right now, I just do recommend trying to max this Krenkenkai out. However, I do like recommend try to save like 1,000 Y money on you, just because you might want to pay like 6,000 Y money to buy 50 souls so you can keep playing, or whatever it is, or to permanently unlock a boost for your yokai to level 20 to 30. So now there's one more thing I do want to quickly add on right before I end this video, and its missions. These missions are amazing for the early game, mid game, and end game. End game and mid game mainly for the event, because you can get a lot of good stuff like a crap ton of Y points and high tier loot, and even sometimes triple Zeta rank yokai. Right here, you can see. But and I do understand if you can't read Japanese, then it's no problem. If you can, try to translate it if you really want something like this. 3,000 Y money, I might like super quickly translate. Actually, I know exactly what this is. I need an my character, my profile ID thing, but I just want to say, like, for instance, there's like these 100 Y money in this right here. There's a soul secrets to do this, which will probably be something along the score, but you can translate it and do it. But overall, just I would also recommend, like, after every 2-3 stages, just super duper quickly check and go in your menu, and if there's an exclamation point above this dude, just like this right here on him, there is a mission to clear, and this button right here will be a button that says take all your missions or accept all of them. So if you have a mission cleared, you just click this and accept all instead of go through all these and try to find it. But yeah, I do just want to say, because for instance, if you get 500 stars, which is just by doing certain scenes of stages, like complete them fast, or have some amount of health, or do a combo, or have certain large Puni, you get these stars. And if you get 500, you get like an S rank user that you can only get from here. You do it again, you get an Soul Secrets, a special coin, which is guaranteed for an S rank, Soul Secrets, and I think you get the gist. So I highly recommend trying to just do certain themes, and if you see anything good like this, maybe translate it super quickly and try to get the soul secrets. I of course won't be telling you guys and translating everything, because new missions are added pretty much every stage you complete, and there is way too many missions to go through. So I don't really feel like I should do that, especially since it would be pretty easy to just, you can translate and understand super easily what you need. So yeah, pretty much with that, I think this will be a perfect beginner video. I know it was a crap ton of information to take in, but these are pretty much really helpful tips, or even the correct things to do in certain circumstances. So I really hope you got really good information from this video, and if you are confused or stuck, like I said, please tell me in the comments, and I will try to quickly respond as quick as I can. I don't want anyone to be confused, or even just need tips that I haven't even gone through, or just want a preferred way to not be shown in this video. So if there's even another preferred thing you want me to ask, if you want to ask, go ahead, please tell me. I don't think anything's a stupid question. You can always tell me in this game, because this game is really confusing by itself. So yeah, with that, I think I've gone through pretty much the main tips. If I would also recommend maybe trying to prefer certain things or prioritize, like I said, like I kind of talked a little bit about try bonus, but I do, like I said, like I really recommend trying to have this on your team. So certain things like that, where even if I talked about it a little bit, it's still pretty big. Pretty much everything I've talked about in this video are actually pretty big in the circumstance in this whole game, especially early game. So yeah, with that being said, I really hope you guys enjoyed, and one more thing is that I will probably be streaming this game, this file particular, just because, why not? For my free time of doing this videos and all these beginner ranks and these guides on this stuff, it wouldn't, hurt it to stream. So I might be streaming this, and you can also just ask me questions there sometimes. But yeah, with that, I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye!